Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat, and today it's finally here. Oh well, bam! The You Beauty palette. I did ask you guys last week if you wanted to see this one first or if you wanted to see the multichromes Cosmetics collab, and literally by like 4% this guy won out. So we're still doing both of them this week. So the multichromes Cosmetics collab is gonna be the Sunday video. But first, we have the You Beauty palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. And fun fact, if you have not picked this guy up yet and you missed out on the first pre-order, they are literally having their next pre-order tomorrow, because this is going up on Thursday. Friday is their next pre-order. So if you missed out on it, you can grab it then. And the awesome thing as well is that this is going to be part of their permanent collection. And so as long as people still want it, they're gonna keep having it. But they do pre-sales so that way they can like kind of control the number of purchases that are made so that they're not inundated with so many that they can't keep up with it, which I actually think is really nice, because I know that sometimes brands can kind of like get ahead of themselves and then they get like inundated with 50 bajillion orders, and then you're waiting like over a year to get your product because they can't keep up with the orders. And so I kind of like that they have like a cutoff for each of their pre-sales so that way they can make sure that they are staying within the timeline that they quoted. But let's just jump right into this guy. Here it is. Oh my goodness. So pretty. You can see there are two different multichromes down here. Bunch of really beautiful metallics, several like this guy's a duochrome right here, and this guy I'm fairly certain is a duochrome. This is the only one that arrived broken, but luckily I was able to use my pressing tool and fix it. We're gonna go ahead and swatch every single shade before we jump into the eye look, and they include a really fun card that explains all of the different names for the different shades, and so I'm gonna go ahead and read each of these to you and what they mean. Probably gonna yet again butcher the pronunciation of these if there is any kind of special pronunciation for it, so sorry about that. But let's just jump right in. So the first shade is Straya, which means a slang term for Australia. So I would imagine it's like Straya. I don't know. But this is a beautiful blue to like yellowish green. See how beautiful that is, just extra shimmery, super duper pretty. Very excited about that guy. Blends like a dream. Oh my gosh, just blue to green to gold. Love it. Then we have Bloody Oath, which is an expression of agreement. So the example phrase they have here is, man, it's a hot day. Bloody oath it is. And I apparently turn British instead of Australian when I try and pronounce things. But here we go. That is this guy, and this is just a nice, I would say it's definitely a gray tone, but I think has ever so slight of like a green undertone with it. So very pretty. Then we have Chockers, which is completely full, and the example phrase is, we can't fit any more stubbies in the fridge, it's Chockers. And stubbies are beers, apparently, that's just fantastic. Here is this shade. Yes, so this is like a pinkish purple to like silverish yellow shift. There you go with that guy. That is just super duper lovely, and you can really see the nice green to blue shift on this one. Nothing more satisfying than a good metallic shade, I tell you what. All right, next up is going to be Stitch Up, and Stitch Up is a situation where you didn't expect to be disadvantaged. And the example is, tell the truth and you won't get in trouble. Proceeds to tell the truth and still gets in trouble. What a stitch up. And there you go. That is a lovely matte brown. It's a really nice kind of chocolatey shade. Like it a lot. That'll be great for deepening up the eye. I do also like that there's like a really solid balance of like somewhat deeper shades, because the brown, the blue, the red, even the yellow is like a deeper mustardy tone. Like I know it's kind of coming off a little bit lighter because of the ring light, but these are very nice deep shades, which I think is really nice because that makes it just so much more inclusive. They did also do something really awesome for the palette. So if you have a deeper skin tone and the Stitch Up shade in particular, if that is not deep enough for you, they wanted to make sure that they created this to be a palette that is super duper inclusive. And so they have the option of getting a different, deeper brown shade that is the shade Bittersweet. And so when you're ordering, if you want that shade instead, you can let them know. And so for me, this is a really good deep brown, but for deeper skin tones, I'm sure that this would not be deep enough. And so the fact that they are offering a deeper shade than this, I think that's awesome. So really, really like how brands are starting to really think through things and offer options that are more inclusive. All right, next up is going to be the shade Fair Dinkum. And Fair Dinkum is to mean something is truthful, not kidding. It can also be an expression that can be used instead of seriously. So the example is, did you know that saltwater crocs can hold their breath for 2 hours? Fair dinkum. I'm the worst, literally the worst. Ah, that's a very nice blue. I kind of fudged that up a little bit, that's my bad. I'm the best at swatches. But this is a really nice navy shade, very, very pretty. Then we're gonna get into one of the metallics that's got a beautiful shift to it, and that is Old Mate. And Old Mate is, this expression can be used to refer to literally anyone. This can be especially handy if you forget someone's name. Just call them an Old Mate. Oh my gosh. So in the camera, I'm seeing like orange to yellowish gold. And then as I look at, I'm seeing like greens to browns. I mean, look at that. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. All right, we're gonna do the other half on the other arm so we can really see all of them together. So next up is She'll Be Right, and that is It'll Be Okay, sympathetic Aussie reassurance. Example, I'm really worried that something might go wrong. Nah, she'll be right, mate. And this is just a nice matte shade. Definitely on the lighter side. See if I can deepen that up just a smidge. So just a very light, I wouldn't even really say lilac-y. It's like a combination between gray and super light lilac. So very pretty though. I think that's gonna be super duper nice with a couple of these other shades because I'm already starting to get in my head kind of what I'm wanting to do for different looks. And that'll be a nice transition shade or perhaps in the inner corner for me. Then the next shade up is Budgie Smugglers, and that is that deeper red shade. And Budgie Smugglers is a tight-fitting Speedo style men's swimwear. I think we can all already imagine what that is. And there you go. Nice, super deep blood red right there. Lovely. All right, next up is a really nice yellow metallic, Whoop Whoop, and that is a location outside of your local area, more particularly a rural town or district far from the city. Example, hey, where do Glaminatrix Cosmetics make their products? Someplace out Whoop Whoop. I love that. I'm literally gonna use that from now on. Anytime I'm giving directions, it's out Whoop Whoop. I love that. That is so awesome. All right, so definitely a little bit more on the sheer side. I would say this would make a fantastic topper. Yeah, definitely more on the sheer side, but that is a very nice sunshiny yellow shade. Then we have that mustardy yellow matte shade, and that is Struth. And Struth is used as an exclamation. Struth, mate, you're a flaming gala. And flaming gala we will explain with the next one, because I'm like, what's a flaming gala? All right, here we go. Oh, that's a nice mustardy yellow matte shade. Very nice. Those two together, that would be beautiful. So next up is Flaming Gala, and I'm excited about this guy. This guy is very reminiscent of the Kaleidos multichrome highlighter. That's that kind of like iridescent-y shade. And Flaming Gala is someone who is a bit of a fool. All right. Yep. This is very much like the Kaleidos multichrome highlighter. So you can see a little bit of that peachy to pink, and then as I look at it, I'm seeing yellowish green. There you can see a little bit of how that shifts. But that's definitely on the lighter side. But very, very pretty. You can really see where it's going from peachy pink to that yellowish to a little bit of green. It's also very reminiscent with the level of like sheerness, I would say it reminds me a lot of in the Norn palette from Odin's Eye that we just used. This guy is very similar to that multichrome shade. And then lastly, we have G'day, which looks like it is going to be a deeper multichrome shade and definitely more opaque than the Flaming Gala shade. And G'day, I think we are all familiar with, but for anyone that is not, it is a classic Australian way of saying hello, and it literally just means good day. So here we go with that guy. Yeah, this one's definitely more opaque. So you can see the two shades together. This guy has a deeper undertone to it, which is making it stand out a little bit more. So this one looks a little bit more iridescent, whereas this guy is definitely a stronger shade. And so you see a little bit of that grayish undertone to it as it's shifting from the pinks and oranges to the kind of yellowish green shade on there. I am excited. We're gonna do 2 looks again so we can really combine as many of the shades as possible, but this is the entirety of the palette and I am excited. So what I think I'm gonna do, on the one eye, I think I'm going to do the yellows and the blues. And then on the other, I think I'm gonna focus more on the purple to red to browns and then use like this pinkish highlight and then some of the multichrome shades on that eye. So I think we're gonna get almost everything, if not everything, onto both eyes. And I'm excited. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the shade Bloody Oath, which is that kind of a lighter grayish with a little bit of a green undertone, greenish blue undertone. And that is going to go into the crease area on my eye. And then we'll use the mustard yellow and the dark navy blue on the lid portion. So next up, we're gonna go into Struth, which is the mustardy yellow shade, and that's gonna go on the inner half of the lid. That is coming along nicely, and they are blending into a little bit of a greenish shade on there, which is what I was hoping for. Then we're gonna go into Fair Dinkum, which is that deeper blue shade for the outer half. And I'm hoping yet again that they will all blend together to create different shades at each of the contact points. So this is it so far, those 3 shades, and I think that they are combining pretty nicely to where you're getting a really good greenish tint between the yellow and the tealish gray blue. We're gonna go into Bloody Oath again for the under eye, just to kind of tie this whole look together. So now we're gonna go into the metallic shades. And Whoop Whoop is gonna be the one that I wanna have go into the inner corner, so we're gonna start off with, you know what, no. We're gonna use Flaming Gala on the inner corner there. I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start off with Whoop Whoop first and then blend into Old Mate and then blend into Straya. So Whoop Whoop first, which is the lighter yellow, then going into Old Mate and then into Straya. And then we'll do Flamin' Gala, which is the lighter of the 2 multichromes on the inner corner. Maybe, we'll see how that goes. Okay, Whoop Whoop is a very crumbly shade, and so I'm not entirely certain if maybe that also broke a little bit in the travels, and so I might just need to press that down a little bit. Well, she is a thick lady. Even though that did literally go everywhere, it brushed away really easily. Like, there are not a whole lot of speckles left on my face, which I think is very, very nice. Because there are times where the fallout will not go away. All right, so we're jumping into Old Mate next, which is this guy for the middle of the eye. This one is going much nicer onto the brush, and so I would almost guarantee, I think Whoop Whoop got a little bit hurt on the flight over here from Australia. So I'm just gonna press that guy after we're done today. There we go. Oh, I love it so much. Oh my god, this is my favorite shade. Look at it. And this is literally with like no product. This is just a dry brush and it's already just like caca. I love it. Oh man, this shade alone blended that guy out just a smidge with Whoop Whoop, but this guy is a stunner. And then the last shade for the lid is going to be Straya, which is that blue. I have a feeling that this is gonna be nice. Can I just say, I absolutely love this color story. Like, when I saw it on Instagram for like the first time, I like almost wanted to cry. I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. So, I mean, as far as like for someone like me that loves colors galore, this is such a nice palette. Okay, here we go. I do also have to be a little careful with Straya because that guy definitely broke on the way over here. But I have a feeling that was mainly my postman who likes to stuff our mail into the mailbox super duper tight where you can't even get the boxes out of it. And so wouldn't be surprised if that was what caused it, because they certainly used enough packaging on there to try and keep it safe. So I think it was my mailman's just jealous. He saw all that makeup and he was like, why can't that be mine? I'm 100% certain that was what he was thinking. It's like all blending together into this beautiful, like what I imagine gold coins look like when they're underwater. Like, this is what I think that looks like. Just all the greens and blues into golds. All right, so what I do want to do though is I don't want to lose that little bit of smokiness, and so I am ever so slightly going to go back into Bloody Oath just to kind of cover up any of the shimmer shades that got onto my lower line. And then at the very end, I'm going to go back into the Fair Dinkum darker navy shade just to ever so slightly smoke out the corner a little bit. So we're going to do that now. Just one dab. One dab will do ya. Okay, we're gonna go into the multichromes. Now the real question is, do I wanna go into the lighter one or into the darker one? And I think I wanna go into the lighter one and see how that guy goes. And if I change my mind, I can always go into the deeper one afterward. This is the iridescent that we need. That pop of like peachy pink in there blended into the yellow. I'm gonna tightline this bad boy and throw on some mascara, and then I'm gonna show you guys the final look before we get into the other eye, which I think is gonna look just as good. Okay, we're back, and I don't even have the words for how much I love this look, but it is so pretty. All of the different shades blending together. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness. This is definitely one of my favorite looks that I have made recently. It's literally like a mermaid just threw up on my eye. I freaking love it. Let's just jump into the next one. I am ready to go. All right, so first up, we're going to do She'll Be Right, which is this guy, and then in the middle we're going to blend in that red, and then we're going to go into Stitch Up on the outer portion. So this is definitely going to be more of a reddish glam look. And then on the top of that, I think that we're going to go into the G'day shade for the lid, and then go into Chalkers, which is this purplish, really light purple for the inner corner. And that will literally be 100% of the shades from this palette. I said I would do it in the beginning, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so we are gonna take this up a little bit higher, because since I am pretty much going to coat the lid with G'day, I do want the matte shades to still be somewhat visible as a look. And so we're just gonna take that up into the crease as well as applying it to the lid. And this guy is definitely a lighter neutral shade on me for sure. And so now I'm gonna go into Budgie Smugglers, which is the red. And as hoped, it is blending lovely with She'll Be Right. And so they're kind of turning it into a nice mauve-y shade rather than keeping it quite so harshly red. And so that's gonna be even more pretty as we go along. I'm not worried about it being a little bit messy in the back because again, we're gonna be applying that brown on the back corner, but I am gonna go back into She'll Be Right to help blend that out a little bit more on there, lighten it up a smidge. That is what I was hoping for. That is, when I have my eye open, you can kind of see the portion of the crease that's gonna be visible, and it blended very, very nicely together. So now we're gonna go into Stitch Up, which is the brown shade, for the outer corner. We'll see if we can just blend all three of them into the under eye to just keep that same flow going. All right, the ultimate test. Here we go, Glaminatrix. I'm gonna go into G'day and I'm gonna coat the lid. Yes, I don't even care. I don't even care if the colors were gonna go together or not. This shade is beautiful. I do think on this one though, it would be wise to go in with the finger to build that shade up. Like these other metallics needed no additional assistance, but I think that with this particular formula, it is a little bit sparkly in nature. You can kind of see some of those flecks going all over the place. I can see them dancing in front of my eyes. And so I think that this shade, to really get it to stand out, you wanted to use your finger. Okay, so then the last shade that we are going to go into is Chockers, which is that pretty lilac-y purple duochrome shade. A bit more on the transparent side than what I was expecting. I thought it would be like way heavier on the purple, but it seems like it's a bit thicker on like the silverishy side, which honestly is very pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and tightline and throw on mascara, and then we'll be back with the final look from everything and my final thoughts. And then I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are on everything as well, how this all came together. Okay, I'm gonna come in here for the final look on both eyes. You can definitely tell that there's a bit of a grayish undertone with the multichrome on this side, but still I think very, very pretty. It all blended together just beautifully. I am partial to this eye because we know I love my blues and greens and yellows. That's just how I am. So this is definitely my favorite. I would love to know what you guys thought, what you guys would have done differently with this color story. This palette is absolutely stunning. I like it so, so much. It worked out so nicely. It was everything that I was hoping that it was going to be. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Let's just revisit this color story one more time. Look at all these, oh, they're so, so pretty. I love them. Just so, so nice. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And again, let me know what you guys thought. If you made it to the end of the video and you have not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe. Come join our family on here. We talk about all the makeup, all the indie brands, all the color, everything. It is all here. So make sure you subscribe so you can join the conversation, because that's my favorite part, is just talking to you guys about makeup and sharing our love of it. So come join us. And other than that, that was the new Glaminatrix You Beauty palette, and you guys just go have a good one.